चालू केलं मी बोलाय होता. ठीक आहे, ओके.
हॅलो सूर्यवंशी सर.
चालू केला, दिसून आलं पहा तुला.
तुमचा मायक्रोफोन बंद आहे. हॅलो सूर्यवंशी सर.
येस येस.
तू लॉग इन करून येणार का दुसऱ्या नाही अजून?
हॅलो, आवाज येतोय सर?
हो तुमचा येतोय. माझा?
हो येतोय, क्लिअर आहे.
ओके, थँक्यू सर.
ओके.
हॅलो.
हॅलो.
येतोय सर आवाज?
हो येतोय सर.
एक मिनिट हा सर, दुसरं लॉक करतो माईक. सर आता सर. हॅलो.
हा येस येस सर.
येतोय आवाज?
हो हो
येतोय येतोय येतोय.
ठीक आहे ठीक आहे ठीक. हॅलो हॅलो, हा आवाज येतोय? हॅलो हॅलो.
यस सर.
सर येतोय आवाज?
येतोय सर, येतोय.
ओके ओके.
Everywhere yarn.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Good morning, sir.
Namaskar. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, sir. Welcome.
Good morning, Kapse sir.
How, sir?
Able to hear me?
Yes, sir. You are very much audible.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Welcome, sir, once again.
Okay. Thank you.
एकीकडे फेल तर दुसरीकडे चालू असं इथे हॅलो कापसे सर.
हा, मग मी तुम्हाला मेल करू का? तो मी तुमच्या मेलवर जर त्याला फॉरवर्ड केलं, ईमेल पे.
कापसे सर, am I audible? Hello sir.
हा सर, यू आर ऑडिएबल सर.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, Kapse sir. Hello.
आनंद ऍडमिटचं
हा सर. हॅलो.
Hello, Anand. Yes, sir. Due to some technical problem, our resource person is yet to join. So we are waiting for 1 or 2 minutes only. So I request all of you to be with us. And in a minute or two, we are going to start this webinar. Please be with us.
Mike.
we are now about to start this national level webinar on best practices in laboratory safety management. But due to some technical problem, the invited speaker, Honorable Dr. Usha Mukundan ma'am, is yet to join. So this delay in the start of this national level webinar, I really apologize for that. And please be with us. In 1 or 2 minutes, we will start the proceeding of this national level webinar. Thank you. I request all participants to mute your microphones during this webinar to keep the quality of sound functional. And during technical sessions, if you have any kind of queries or question, you may put your query or questions in chat box. So after the technical sessions, the resource person will answer all your queries, doubts, or questions. So this is my request to all participants.
Hello, Akshay sir.
Hi, sir. One or again 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay, sir.
We are trying our level best to connect invited speaker.
Okay, sir. हॅलो
हा
हॅलो
पाटील सर, हो चालू आहे प्रयत्न. We are really sorry for delay in the start of this national level webinar, but this is due to technical problem, and we are trying our level best to resolve the issue, because our invited speaker, Honorable Dr. Usha Mukundan ma'am, is yet to join this national level webinar, and on her side she is trying her level best to get connected, and as soon as she gets connected we will start this national level webinar on best practices in laboratory safety management. So please be with us, and this event will we hope that this event will definitely benefits all of us.
हॅलो कापसे सर.
हा पाटील सर. हॅलो.
मॅडमला कॉल करून विचार म्हटलं किती वेळ लागेल.
हो.
इथे सुरू करून टाकू आपण.
हो हो सर, एक मिनिट. हो चालेल ना. एक दोन जण डायरेक्ट बाहेर काढून टाकायचे. त्या मॅडम ट्राय करत असतील, खाली ठेवा आणि सगळे कोहोस्ट काढून टाका. सध्या कोहोस्टचं कामच नाही कोणाचंच. Dr. Patil, sir.
Hello, sir.
We may proceed
Fast.
now. Respected Ravindraji Kadu, sir, with your consent, I would like to start the proceeding of this national level webinar. Hello.
Yes, sir. Can you start?
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. First of all, really.
सर मॅडम जॉईन झालेल्या आहेत. मॅडमने लॉग इन केलं आताच. खांडवे सर बोलतो.
Okay. Thank you, Khandve sir.
Thank you, sir.
Very good morning and very warm welcome to one and all. First of all, I am really sorry on behalf of Arts, Science and Commerce College. I really apologize for the delay in the start of this national level webinar. And I would like to thank everyone for joining us for today's national level webinar on best practices in laboratory safety management, organized by Internal Quality Assurance Cell, Arts, Science and Commerce College, Chikaldara, Maharashtra State. I am Dr. V.D. Kapse, convener of this national level webinar. And first of all, I would like to mention that this program is being conducted under the kind guidance of Honorable Jagdishji Gupta, founder president of SIPNA Shikshan Prasarak Mandal Amravati, and he is the ex-minister of state, Maharashtra state. Now, we proceed for the inaugural function. I welcome the chairman for inaugural function of this national level webinar, Honorable Dr. Ravindraji Kadu, secretary of our parent institution, that is SIPNA Shikshan Prasarak Mandal Amravati, inaugurator, Honorable Dr. Srikant Ikhilikar, who is associate professor of Department of Physics, VN Degree College, Gulbarga, Karnataka State. Invited speaker, Honorable Dr. Usha Mukundan, ex-principal, RJ College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Ghatkopar West, Mumbai. Honorable Dr. V.R. Patil, principal of our Arts, Science and Commerce College, Chikaldara, and participants from various institutions of India, and some of the participants are from abroad also. Now, to begin this national webinar, I would like to have some introductory words about this national level webinar. Now, everyone is aware of the present situation of COVID-19 pandemic. Now, this situation has restricted all of us for physical gathering in the large number, but we believe that show must go on. And we have decided to arrange this virtual gathering for a good cause. But question is why we have chosen this theme, that is the best practices in laboratory safety management. So in this context, I would like to say that for all institutions, laboratory safety management has been a matter of great concern. And there is a required protocol for the laboratory safety that has to be followed in precision, because if you follow this protocol regarding the lab safety, that ensures the health and security of, or you can say for all stakeholders. In our view, there could be a large number of practices ensuring the laboratory safety management. And in persuasion of this, we have arranged this virtual gathering, or you can say the webinar. And this webinar might open up several opportunities for proper and optimum functioning of laboratory as far as or in the context of safety. The proper implementation of these practices, what we call as the best practices in the laboratory safety management, not only ensures the safety, but prove quite beneficial for the colleges as far as the assessment of the institution or colleges by the NAC Bangalore is concerned. So with this introductory word, once again, I welcome you all. Now moving ahead, I invite Honorable Dr. V.R. Patil, the principal of our college, for the welcome address. Please, Dr. V.R. Patil, sir.
Good morning. Welcome everyone, and thank you to all for joining us for today's national webinar on best practices in laboratory safety management. On this occasion, I welcome our chief patron, Honorable Dr. Jagdish Gupta, President, Shipna Shikshan Prasarak Mandal Amravati, and I also welcome Chairman of today's national webinar, Honorable Dr. Ravindraji Kadu sir, Secretary, Shipna Shikshan Prasarak Mandal Amravati, inaugurator of this webinar, Honorable Dr. Srikant Islikar, Associate Professor, Department of Physics, NV Degree College, Gulbarga, Karnataka State, and I also welcome our chief guest, Honorable Dr. Usha Mukadam Madam, ex-principal RJ Arts, Science and Commerce College, Ghatkopar West, Mumbai, Maharashtra State. I also welcome the convener, Dr. Vidi Kapse, coordinator IQAC, Dr. N.J. Suryavanshi, and all organizing committee members of IQAC, all teaching and non-teaching staff, principal and their representatives from various colleges, all respected participants from various regions of India and abroad also, and all well-wishers, press reporters, students of our college. I again welcome all of you. Sir, our college, Art, Science, Commerce, Chikhaldara, is situated in Meghe in Amravati district, has successfully completed 24 years of establishment since 1996 and celebrating Silver Jubilee year. Onset of COVID-19 pandemic, we are organizing various online programs to celebrate our Silver Jubilee year. Meghe comprises two tahsils, Chikhaldara and Dharni, which is hilly terrain at northern extreme of the Amravati district of Maharashtra, and it has been a challenge for us to set up required infrastructure due to hilly, tribal, and remote region with limited resources. College operates in remote and largely cut off from mainstream region. Adverse climate condition, ignorance, poverty, illiteracy, superstition, addiction, malnutrition, lack of adequate communication, transportation facilities highlight this area. The college aims at serving the cause of education by maintaining the academic excellence and developing the leader who can participate in democratic society with responsibility. The institution takes utmost care to inculcate moral, spiritual, and cultural values among the students. The college has successfully created 7,782 graduates among the local tribal people. Today, many of our students working in various prestigious and corporate sector in abroad and India also. We have positively helped our students for job employment. Some of the students working in the reputed organization like ISRO, Baba Atomic Research Center, Geological Survey of India, Defense Services, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Pollution Control Board, Maharashtra Police Services, etc. We are proud to have 18 faculty members as an university recognized PhD supervisor with 10 research centers and laboratories, and 27 teachers are PhD degree holders. The college was awarded grade B at the first assessment in 2004, and in 2012, at the time of second assessment by NAC, we secured grade B with CGPA 2.58, and in the third cycle in 2018, secured CGPA 2.77 with B++ grade. We look forward to positively continue our journey on the way of progress and prosperity in higher education. In addition to this, the safety of the teachers and students while working in the laboratories has extraordinary importance. When conducting the experiment in the lab and completing certain their project, we will come into the contact with a range of different chemicals. The chemicals such as acid can cause serve burn damage to issues, tissue and organs. The improper use can lead serve health risk with also presenting the possibility to fire. Similarly, the chemical gases can cause a number of complications and many toxic corrosive, and flammable. To ensure safety is the highest priority, only use the correct equipment for your project and ensure we are fully trained to prepare in handling dangerous gases. Just come off the thing to aware of include ventilation, safety valve, and proper confinement. Besides this, the lab is full of whole range of specialist equipment and require varying activities. This equipment is not only expensive, but we can delicate and easy to break. As a result, before using any new equipment, it's important to get better understanding of its proper use and best practices. Misusing the lab equipment can result in injury, expenses, and a delay in your experiment. Therefore, protocol regarding the laboratory management should be followed strictly, like disposal of chemical, gases, etc. Safety measures like use of apron, fire extinguisher should be made properly. These all things, as well as all the best practices as far as safety of teachers, students, and researchers in laboratory is concerned, this webinar will definitely help to insight into a significant aspect. Thank you. Thanking you. I again welcome to all the participants, those who are joined this webinar. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. V.R. Patil, sir. Now, it's my immense pleasure to introduce the inaugurator of this national level webinar, Honorable Dr. Srikant Ikhelikar. Now, Dr. Srikant Ikhelikar is Associate Professor of Department of Physics of NV Degree College of Gulbarga, Karnataka State. Now he has a teaching experience of 34 years. He has about 50 research papers to his credit. He is PhD supervisor. Under his guidance, 10 students have completed PhD and MPhil. He is reviewer of some of the journals of international repute. He has successfully completed 2 research projects as a principal investigator. He has delivered number of invited talks and chaired the sessions at various national, international events, or you can say the conferences or seminars. Now it's my great pleasure to invite Honorable Dr. Srikant Ikhelikar, sir, to deliver the inaugural address. Please, Dr. Ikhelikar, sir.
Namaskar. Good morning to you all. Honorable Ravindraji Kadu, sir, Chairperson of Sipna Shikshan Prasarak Mandal Amravati and Chairperson of today's webinar, eminent resource person of today's webinar, Dr. Usha Mukundan Madam from Art Science Commerce College, Ghatkopar, Mumbai. Principal Dr. V.R. Patil, sir. Organizing committee members of a national webinar on best practices lab safety management. Especially convener Dr. V.D. Kapse, sir, because of whom I am here on the panel. At the outset, I am extremely happy to be associated with this national webinar, that is best practices lab safety management. As rightly said, the COVID-19 situation has created a gap between the stakeholders in the higher education system. That is, we, the teachers, the management of the college, and the students feel some gap in connecting each other. The webinars are playing a very vital role in bridging the gap between the stakeholders. They are like connecting bridges between teacher and student, college and teacher and student. So this gap has been filled partially by organization of the webinars, that is virtual meeting of teachers and students. I feel the webinar of this kind is a very important and need of the hour. It is the requirement that we come out of our circles and meet virtually to the students, teachers, our own staff who need some special advice, and also this can be services of the best resource person across the country who are not reachable to our place. Well, if we are like in Chikaldara, that is remote place, it would be very difficult to get a person from Mumbai or Delhi to the place. But virtually their services, their resourceful experiences can be shared with the people in any part of the country. Therefore, the webinars are very important, and this particular webinar on best practices is really the need of the hour. The best practices for the higher education institute are mandatory from the point of view of National Assessment and Accreditation Council's guidelines. So the college has to have a minimum of 2 best practices, or it can have any number of best practices, but at least it should have 2 best practices. The best practices when started or when thought of are with a seed idea. They start with a very small step, but that is really a good beginning. That small step over the years and reviewed thoroughly, that is what is required. When we actually implement our idea, then we'll come to know what actually is the requirement or the infrastructure support or material support or training needed to go ahead in the best practice that we are establishing through the services of experts in the field. Over the years, the best practices become standardized and become a model for the others to follow. In this regard, the best practice in lab safety management is a wonderful idea. And to start with, over the years, we, the colleges, have been, as a matter of practice, following safety norms in all the colleges to care at utmost safety of the students. But with time, we need to revive, relook, and restructure the safety arrangements in our own institutes, laboratories. Sometimes it may be as simple as handling electrical equipments in a physics lab, or the chemicals, hazardous chemicals, acids or gases, poisonous gases in chemistry lab. Even sometimes to dispose them, we need to educate. We need to know the right methods of safety to be followed. And hence the safety guidelines, safety procedures that we follow need to be updated. And this procedure, this can be done through the expert advice from the resource persons or experts in the field, like the one today we have with Dr. Usha Mukundan ma'am, and we all will be looking forward for this. The delegates, IQAC coordinators of various colleges, staff, teaching and support staff, those who are participating in this webinar, make best use of the resource persons expertise in the field. And I personally feel that it is a great opportunity for all of us the delegates, staff to update ourselves in the updating our knowledge on safety issues concerned with the laboratories in educational institutions. I am extremely happy to announce that the national webinar on best practices lab safety management declared open. I'm extremely happy to be part of the inauguration process, and I personally thank the president of the SIPNA Section Sanstha, Jagdish Ji Gupta sir, secretary of the SSPM, Shri Ravindra Kaduji sir, principal Patil sir, the organizing committee, convener Kapse sir, and all those concerned with this webinar, and also the efforts of the technical committee needs to be appreciated. And I also take this opportunity to thank the technical support team, which is really a backbone for the webinars. I once again extremely happy to make one note that over the period of 25 years is a great time in the institution's history, and definitely coming out of the location, hilly area, tribal area, remote place, the college, Art Science Commerce College Chikaldara has progressed over 25 years, sustained, and has shown this kind of recent approaches using technology, organizing the webinars, and definitely the completion of 3 cycle itself is a standardization or a progress in the assessment and accreditation part. Definitely for next cycle, you have a great way to go. I wish all the best for whole team of Art Science Commerce College Chikaldara. I once again thank Kapse sir and thank all for patient listening. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Dr. Srikant Ikhalikar, sir. And I would like to say thanks for your for inaugurating this national level webinar, and your encouraging words definitely motivates all of us to better and better in the field of education. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Now,
thank you.
It's my privilege to introduce the chairman for the inaugural function of this national level webinar, Honorable Dr. Ravindraji Kadu, sir. Dr. Ravindraji Kadu is the secretary of our parent institution, SIPNA Shikshan Prasarak Mandal, Amravati. He is governor nominated Senate member of Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University, Amravati, which is our affiliating university. He is Western Region Chairman of National Council for Education, New Delhi. Dr. Ravindraji Kadu is a member of Expert Committee for National Sports Education Board under Khelo India, Government of India. Now, as far as his contribution in the field of education is concerned, he worked as a member of Academic Council of Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University, Amravati. Now, apart from this, he contributed a lot in the research field, corporate life, and he has achieved a lot regarding the sports proficiency and participation. Now, it's my great pleasure to invite Honorable Dr. Ravindraji Kadu sir for presidential address. Please, sir.
Thank you. Namaste. Good morning to everybody. At the outset of national webinar on best practices in laboratory safety management, organized by our Arts Commerce Science College Chikaldara, I welcome and extend my gratitude towards Dr. Srikant Ikhalikar, who is the Associate Professor, Department of Physics, NV College, Gulbarga, Karnataka, And today's speaker, an expert, Dr. Usha Mukundan, was the ex-principal of RJ College, Mumbai. All the dignitaries and participants who were here on virtual mode for this event. Also welcome to all learned speakers and participants of the webinar. This webinar is going to organize on the occasion of our silver jubilee year of this institution. This institution has successfully completed 25 years, and this is the 25th means silver jubilee year. In spite of pandemic situation all over the world, we are celebrating this year by organizing a number of academic and social activities to create an academic environment in teachers and students in spite of this gap because of the pandemic situation. Sir, as a secretary of the parent institutes, it is my humble duty to know about the establishment of this institution. Actually, already Dr. V.R. Patil, principal of this college, mentioned all the situation and establishment background of the institution. But even though this institution is located at Melghat, a tribal region, and major population belongs to the tribal tribes like Gond, Korku, Balai, Gaulu, etc. Even this region is very well known by the Gugamal Tiger Project and very rich in flora and fauna. Despite this all good situations, before 35 years, that is in the year 95-96, the region was badly affected by child malnutrition. All necessary efforts was made by our President Honorable Jagdish Gupta, who represented this constitution about 30 years. Actually, he took all the efforts for the eradication of this malnutrition, but all the medical facilities was extended, all the social awareness was also trying to with our best. But the main reason of this malnutrition was we find that illiteracy of the people and superstition very dominantly in this area. So we think about this both the reasons, and we established institution for imparting the education to literate people in this area as well as the youth to aware this malnutrition. So we started this institution in the year 1996. And since 30 years, we are imparting education with our best and trying with our best to cater the education and extend all the facilities for use. Apart from all odd situations, as already mentioned by the inaugurator as well as our principal, because of the college is located in remote area, tribal area, a lack of communication is very dominantly here. But I'm very proud to our faculty members and staff that they are extending all efforts to educate the tribal youth from last 30 years. And we are very, our institution and myself is very proud for their efforts they are taking to literate the people, to literate the youth in this area. We have started very good subjects like environment science, then food science. It is very helpful to the people and youth in this area. So now we are very praise and appreciate the work extended by these faculty members, by the institution in this area. Lastly, I extend my best wishes to this webinar, and also thanks to the organizer for giving opportunity me being a chairman of this event. I thanks to Dr. Kapse, convener of this webinar, Dr. V.R. Patil, principal of this college, and Dr. Meghe, organizing committee members of this webinar. Again, I thanks to all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dr. Ravindraji Kadu sir, for your presidential address and your best wishes for the grand success of this national level webinar. Now, I would like to invite my colleague and friend, Dr. V.S. Meghe sir, to deliver the vote of thanks. Please, Dr. Vijay Meghe sir.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Thank you, Kapse sir. Good afternoon to all of you. Dignitaries of today's inaugural ceremony of National Webinar on Best Practices in Laboratory Safety Management, organized by the Internal Quality Assurance Cell, Arts, Science and Commerce College, Chikaldara. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose the vote of thanks of this occasion. First of all, I would like to express my sincere thanks to Honorable Sri Jagdishji Gupta, President of our parent institution, Shipna Shikshan Prasarak Mandal Amravati, for his inspiration, guidance, and support to organize such activities. I would like to express my gratitude to Honorable Dr. Ravindraji Kadu, Secretary of our parent institution, and I'm very thankful today's its presidential address, its continuous encouragement, guidance, and moral support for such activities. On behalf of Arts, Science and Commerce College, Chikaldara, I extend my sincere thanks to Honorable Dr. Srikanji Ekelikar, inaugural guest, who spent time from his busy schedule to grace this occasion and a very precise address. I am very thankful to Dr. Usha Mukundan Madam for his presence, to be present for his technical sessions. I am very thankful to Dr. V.R. Patil sir, principal of our college. He always become with us for his continuous motivation to such activities. I am very thankful to Dr. V.D. Kapse, coordinator IQAC and convener of today's program, to organize such activities and his efforts towards the anchoring such program. I am very grateful to Anand Dage for his technical support. I am thankful to all participants, teaching and non-teaching staff of our college and peoples for their presence. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. V.S. Meghe. Now, with the kind permission of Chairperson of inaugural function of this national level webinar, Honorable Dr. Ravindraji Kadu, I declare that inaugural function is over, and now we will move towards our technical session. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Now, I would like to welcome everyone for this technical session of national level webinar on best practices in laboratory safety management. And for this national level webinar, everyone knows that the resource person is Honorable Dr. Usha Mukundan ma'am, who is ex-principal of RJ Arts, Science and Commerce College, Ghatkopar, West Mumbai. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce Honorable Dr. Usha Mukundan ma'am in a brief, because as far as his CV is concerned, she has done a lot in the field of education. So I would like to introduce today's invited speaker, Honorable Dr. Usha Mukundan ma'am. Now, Dr. Usha Mukundan, ma'am, had a brilliant career right from her student life. She has completed her BSc with first class, followed by MSc, and thereafter by completing her doctorate in plant physiology. She did postdoctoral research in plant biotechnology, hairy root cultures in USA in 1997, and the area of her research being downstream processing. Now, as far as the awards and prizes that she won for academic excellence are many. I would like to mention one of it, that recently in 2011, she has awarded the Best Teacher Award for 2010 by Government of Maharashtra. Then she has been a member of Board of Studies in the subject Botany of Mumbai University. She was also a member of Faculty of Science of Mumbai University. She is an NACPR team member. She worked as a convener of Board of Studies in Biotechnology of Mumbai University. And I would like to mention here especially that she worked as a member of UGC 11th Plan Western Region Committee. Now, as far as her research contribution is concerned, under her able guidance, about 30 students have completed PhD and 7 more are doing the research work for their PhD degree. Research publications to her credits are numerous. Now, she is the life member of several professional bodies. In short, what I mean to say that Honorable Dr. Usha Mukundan stands out as a person with academic and professional achievements. And it's our pleasure that she is with us today as an invited speaker, and definitely her lecture will motivate all of us to understand what will be the best practices in the laboratory safety management. So I would like to take this opportunity to invite Honorable Dr. Usha Mukundan ma'am to deliver her lecture. Please, ma'am.
So good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
At the outset, I'm extremely thankful to your excellent technical team. See, sometimes you come across very unexpected things, and today was one of those days. I'm very particular about time, and today it was really a trying time when I tried to log in. So thank you very much, and a very big round of applause for all of you, and all the dignitaries who have joined for the inaugural session, and I think some of them may be also there. I'm thankful to the management of your institution for thinking about organizing this seminar. Good luck to you all. 25 years is a long journey, and I wish that we will come and meet sometime personally. You are also invited to the City of Dreams, Mumbai, and we would very much like to come and visit Chikalda. So I thank all of you for the patience that you have shown, and I could join a little later, but I am sure that you will enjoy the session and also ensure that safety comes first. So I'm going to share, I have a presentation which will be in 2 parts. So the first half and then some question answers and then another presentation. So can I share the screen, please?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
All right. Can you see?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
All
yes,
right.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And so this is my current designation. My management has been very kind enough. And I would like to mention I was a student of this college from 1971. And many of the experiences, even though I've gathered from literature, is from the journey that I've had in our institution. So today's talk is basically going to be on laboratory safety management and the best practice. If you follow many or all of these, I'm sure it is going to become a best practice. Now, these are the references which I acknowledge. I've taken a lot of information which is available from website, and these are downloadable. And I like that safety handbook a lot because very precisely they have literally taken you on a journey of all the procedures which will make any lab a safe place. So these are the references which I would like to acknowledge because I have taken information from these, and many of the images that I've downloaded is from different websites. So I acknowledge each one of them. Now I very fondly, this is my first home, Junjanwala College, which is bang opposite railway station. I'll just take 2 minutes because for us, safety is very, very important. Because between the railway station and our college, there is a very narrow road. I think it is not even 30 feet. So we very often jokingly say we are on platform number 0 of Ghatkopar station. So it has both advantage and disadvantage. But we feel that more than disadvantage, we have converted into an advantage because by God's grace, any course that we start is full. We have like a publicity thing. Anybody who is traveling by train can see our college hoarding. And when I joined as a student, we had only arts and science. That was about 65 years back. And 1971, I joined the college. So don't count my age, all right? Women never tell their age. And when I joined, we had about 1,000 students. But in the college now, I have 10,000 students. And behind the college is our parent institution, the Hindi High School, started in 1938 by a postman by collecting 4 annas and 8 annas. So nothing is impossible. And that postman has given us a very big gift in terms of an educational institution, catering from KG till PhD. So we have doctoral programs in more than 9 areas. We have PG programs in 11 PG programs, many postgraduate diploma programs, UG in all the faculties, and a plethora of self-financing courses. Having said that, our motto is to cater to the real marginalized section of the society, the have-nots. So many of them are from the migrants, and they come to this college with a dream, and those dreams are fulfilled by my very enabled faculty. So as I mentioned, for us, safety is very, very important. With the recent happenings which are going on, anything which happens on the railway station will percolate into the premises. So therefore, for us, safety becomes of top priority. And I'm sure for all of you, safety will become a top priority. And you will also realize how to go about it. Now, we often think it is only the work of the lab assistant or the people working in the laboratory, and if there is a problem, then it is the principal's job to take care of it. But I will believe that laboratory safety begins with you. The moment you have this written in your mind, I think each one of us will become very, very responsible. So let me see what we should do right in the beginning. Training, which, see, we also do a lot of training. I'm very thankful to Dr. Prabodh Chaube, who has been a trainer for our non-teaching staff and for the students. And we have been conducting regular training programs in addition to safety drills. But having said that, when I was preparing for this talk, I felt that we will now make this as a very rigorous thing. Anybody who enters the premises as a student, as a staff, should compulsorily undergo the training program. So I would like to thank Dr. Kapse for rekindling the student in me, making me a lifelong learner, and giving us another direction that we will make it as an integral part, because in chemistry, in biology, it is a part of the curriculum, but there it does not end. Everyone should be aware. So general lab safety, these are the broad headings that I would be covering, because this would require at least 30 hours, but I'm trying to put or give what I can say, open some windows so that you all can start thinking and planning for your own institution. So emergency management, waste management, chemical safety, biosafety, radiation safety. Why we are thinking about radiation? Because many of us are working in different molecular biology areas, and if you have the required permission, you may be exposed. But please don't stop there. Your students may be hired somewhere as an X-ray technician or in a diagnostic lab. And very important, as a part of the learning outcome, is this safety training which you and I will be giving to our students. Then there are a lot of experiments. Can somebody stop the annotations, please? Can somebody stop the annotations so that they don't...
Yes, madam.
Yeah.
I will take
Disable it. Disable it. Yeah. Then there are a lot of experiments, especially those who are working in physics. They will realize that we are quickly replacing with laser. So laser safety is also important. Compressed gas safety, then fume hood safety, and we begin with the laboratory training. What type of PPE kit, that is a personal protective equipment, and now with COVID around, everybody is very familiar about this. But when I go along, you will realize that you and I have also been using it. You can freely share this PowerPoint with everyone, and I think because it is also live on YouTube, it will be available to each and every one who is attending this section. Then electrical safety. If you have a workshop, then machine shop safety. If you're working with some mechanical tools or NMR, then or any lathe, then you require the mechatronics safety. Then very specific to a particular laboratory. Now, very important is how do we design a laboratory? And in the beginning, now NAC has also made us realize that if you're a good institution, you should take care of certain things. You must take care of the space availability, how things are organized. So very important is your laboratory design. Quite often, the moment we go for affiliation, we are only thinking of showing one space as a laboratory without proper planning. So I think the management and the people, that is the college planning board, should look into this very, very important aspect and how the floors are being arranged. So what I feel is the chemistry laboratory, the best place is the ground floor, because that is the place where you have most of the chemicals, storage area, you have gas, you have flame. So all that when you are having, then it's a good idea to have the chemistry laboratory on the ground floor, because evacuation becomes very easy. Now, any laboratory that you design should have minimum 2 doors. And how the doors should be, I will tell about that a little later. If there are any exiting windows, then very often we keep them locked, but there should be a key next to it so that it can be opened very easily. Now let me give an example of our own college. There are big laboratories which are all on the ground floor. The large laboratory has 2 exit doors, but there's an adjacent laboratory which has just 1 exit door, which was a very big cause of worry. Then what we did is there was no way that we could interfere with the building architecture, because being an old building, we cannot be breaking walls. Then we said there are big windows. We will open that window, and the window sill is quite low, so people can easily go out. Second important thing is anything which is flammable, like the compressed gas and all, should be never stored within the lab. Third important, all your corrosive material, there should be a separate area where you can store your corrosive material or material which are liable to burn very easily. So your arrangement of reagents should also be proper. It should not be cluttered. And when I go along, I'll show how you should keep the chemicals or how they should be arranged. See, it's not rocket science. It does not cost much. Nothing can be more expensive than a life, and life can never come back. So it's very important that we take care of this life and we take enough precaution. So somebody very rightly mentioned that accidents never happen accidentally. They happen because of ignorance, because people have not been careful, or because people have not bothered to realize how important is safety. Then supervision. So there has to be supervisory rounds by head of the department, the lab assistant, lab in charge. So it is very, very important that I'm talking about college, but for any institution, you must take supervisory round to find out if there is any problem anywhere. See, any amount of CCTV cannot replace your eyes. Your eyes are very sharp. They can take care of anything which is not normal. The floors should be very clean. They should not be slippery. And if there is a spill, it should be taken care of. I'm really amazed now the what you can say, the malls or new shops which have come in, they immediately put a signboard, wet floor, because they are scared that if somebody will slip, they will fall down, then they are going to claim for their injury. But we should not think like that. We should think that it is our responsibility to ensure that there is no accident which could have been avoided. Signboard. I will be telling about these signboards in detail. Everything should be labeled. There should be proper signboard. No material should remain either in the refrigerator or in the storeroom or in any area which is not labeled properly. Then very important, proper ventilation. So if the ventilation is not proper, when there are many, see, every area has different problems. So city like Mumbai, space is a problem. There are many students who are working in a laboratory. So when they are working, there are reactions which are going on, which may result in fume. And as a result, it may result in asphyxiation or choking. So you have to take care that the windows are proper, they are ventilated, and there is enough air circulation. Then water and gas leakage. This is again very, very important because there are certain chemicals which can burn once they come in contact with water. If there is flooding, it could create a very big problem. And gas leakage, you can always take care. Even if there is a very slight odor, then I think it should be attended immediately. Now, the type of PPE equipment or other, what you can say is you have to also find out what type of hazard you are working with and the task. What is the chemical that you are using? How much exposure is there? The material of PPE. Now, a simple lab coat. I've also brought certain things. A simple lab coat should be worn when you are in the laboratory. This should be at least knee length. There are two reasons. It is a barrier. See, in a microbiological lab, it is a barrier against microorganisms so that whatever contaminants or spill, it will come on the lab coat and not on your personal wear. Second, if there is any problem in terms of flame, then also you have at least something to protect you. I will be talking a little bit more in detail about the lab coats a little later. And then the comfort of user is also important. So very often what we do is we give a lab coat and that same lab coat is worn by different people. There are two things when it comes to this. One, you are not looking at hygiene, and I think Corona has really taught us how important hygiene is, and personal contact with that lab coat against somebody using it is not a great idea. And it should not be very tight fitting. That is also important. And the comfort of user is very important. Then only they will be wearing it. Now, this is another good practice. It should be given free of charge to the user. So it need not be the students. Students can bring, but those people who are working in the laboratory, the different type of PPE that they are going to use, which I'll be explaining a little more in detail a little later, as to what type of equipment or what type of apron or what type of lab coat you should be wearing, depending upon what type of work you are doing. Then maintenance. When I say maintenance, it means the cleanliness. To be very honest, you should never wear the lab coat and move around in the premises. It should be worn only in the laboratory, not taken to the lunchroom. Or you should not wear the lab coat and go home. You should preferably not wash the lab coat at home. It should be washed in the workplace or given in an assigned area where it can be washed. Then very important, training for user. See, some people feel, oh, I am not comfortable, I feel very hot, or I'm not okay with wearing it. It's all right, I've been doing this work. No, you have done this work maybe 100 times, but 101st time there can be a problem, and that could be very hazardous. And then you have to assess what type of hazard you are exposing yourself to. Now, what are the different hazards? There could be physical hazards, which are in terms of gases under pressure, or it can be flammable liquids, or flammable solids, or it can be self-reactive substances. There are some substances which will react by itself and they may catch fire. So you have to also make aware people of these different type of hazards. Now, very important, which I think many of us fail to do, is to take a survey. So some safety protocols say that you must take survey of the area along with a supervisor. So the supervisor will tell, or they will train the people as to what are the different sources where there can be a problem and how you can take care of these problems. Say, for example, if you are expected to wear a headgear, then you should know where the falling things are, where are the sources of motion. See, I will give you a very simple example here, that sometimes if your rotary shaker is not properly balanced, or centrifuge is not kept on a proper table, it will start wobbling and the shaker will literally start moving. So it is not a magic, or it is not a planchette, but it has started moving because it is not in an area which requires proper balancing, and then it may start going and hitting the wall, due to which all the glasswares which are kept on that will start breaking. Types of chemicals which you are exposed to. Then source of harmful dust. Somebody is working in area where there is a very small particles which are there, especially if you are synthesizing any compound. Why any compound? Even your own detergent, I would say, is not very safe, because many of these detergents are having biological material so that they can be more active. See, I give this example, daag dabbe. Why do the daag dabbe go away very easily? Because they have organisms, or they have these organisms which have alkaline proteases, so that these, whatever marks are there, will be gone. But I'm very sure you might have realized If you expose yourself, they're all in the form of very fine powder. Your nasal or nasal mucosa will be affected and you'll start sneezing or you may develop allergy. So very important, the type of chemicals which you are exposed to and what type of protection you should give yourself. Then source of light radiation. A simple welder always wears a headgear and a protective covering so that his eyes are not affected. But do we give that precaution to our children when they are observing DNA using a UV trans illuminator? There will be a problem with the retina if they don't wear a protective glass. So therefore, it is very important that a very detailed survey should be made. Everyone should be aware of what is where and what could be a source of accident and how we can take a proper precaution. Then source of sharp object, glassware. People cannot be throwing it anywhere. There should be a container for glassware dedicated and it should be disposed properly. If there is a broken glassware, how it should be removed should be taught. Then layout of workplace and location of co-workers is very important. Suppose I have a problem, I have a method of reaching out to my co-worker or reaching out to the person who can help me. Any electrical hazard, open wire not properly insulated. So, and then please never hide any injury. Never hide any accident. It should be noted down. There should be a proper review on that as to why the accident happened, what was the reason, which are the loopholes, why we did not take care of it or ignored it, and how it should not happen again. See, every accident or every injury is really bad, but it is also a lesson to teach us why we should not repeat that mistake or what precaution we should have taken so that this accident could have been avoided. Now, how do you select the PPE kit? Okay. Now, if you are working with any chemicals, come what may, you must wear safety glasses or goggles. How they should be, that also we will be coming a little later. We must have proper gloves, knee-length lab coat. If the liquids are flammable, then your ordinary cotton or polycot lab coat will not do. Then we need an acid-resistant apron or a flame-resistant lab coat. Now, what are cryogenic liquids? Like liquid nitrogen, dry ice. All these, even though you may not feel it immediately, but they can cause great injuries. And if proper precaution or safety is not taken, then it could lead to a very big personal loss, like losing an eye or frostbite or numbness or your tissues being damaged. So it's very, very important that a person will take care of these things. Toxic fumes. Then the type of mask that you are wearing should take care of these toxic fumes. Now we are all aware that many colleges or institutions are working in frontline areas, either in research or in laboratory. So handling microorganisms is becoming a very common method. You see a lab model organism like E. coli. E. coli can be very, very harmful to individuals. People don't realize it. So when you handle E. coli, lab coat is essential. Wash hands thoroughly after work and the gloves can be disposable. I am going to take each one of them separately. Then if you are working in an area where there is a loud noise, it can result in permanent impairment of hearing. So earplugs or you need material which will take care of the noise level, and that also becomes a part of PPE. So PPE doesn't mean only the covering, it means the entire gear. So it will mean your mask, your headgear, anything to protect you from the hazard that you are working. Kapsis sir, I think somebody is using annotation. I'm not going to use, so you can disable it permanently.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Whoever is the host can do it.
Yes. Anandrao, please. Anand again. Hello. Yes.
Sir, केलं sir.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, ma'am.
Karen, each one of them have a child in themselves, right? So they like to do that annotation. Okay. Now, eye is a great gift to us. We are born with good eyesight. So protecting your eyes is very, very important. Now, in the college also, students don't realize, but the moment they enter a laboratory, a simple safety glasses can be worn. Here, very important, if you are working in a chemistry lab, contact lenses are not recommended. People should not wear contact lenses if they are working in chemistry laboratory. So safety, simple safety glasses, I think they cost, this is without any power and they don't cost. You can have like still better if there is going to be a splash or something, you can wear safety goggles or splash goggles. You might have seen those who do deep sea diving. They also wear some very good safety gears. Then there are tinted ones for laser, and so these are some of the pictures which have been taken from websites. So I've shown you the safety goggle which can be used for working in any laboratory. Recommended that every student should wear this because it ensures safety of your eyes. Any chemicals, please don't touch your face or don't rub your eyes. Don't do that because that may cause a permanent damage. Then I showed you the splash goggles. For laser, you have those with special filters so that it can allow only a particular wavelength and it will not allow the ones which are detrimental to your eyes to pass through them. Then you have a face shield. Now you might have seen many people because of corona are wearing this face shield also. So face shield can give you additional protection, and quite often the face shield comes with a headgear. If you've seen a welder, they wear a headgear along with the face shield, so it gives them double protection. Now, wherever head protection is needed, there will be a signage. That means there will be a sign to show that you have to wear a headgear. Mainly if there are construction sites nearby. A good safety management is not to allow people in the premises without a proper headgear if you think that there is some construction going on in a particular area and there is a risk that something may fall and injure. Head injuries can be very, very detrimental, resulting in, it can even be lethal. High voltage equipment, if you
Hello. Hello. Anandrao.
Sir, आवाज मॅडमचा येत नाही.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
त्याला
मॅडमचा का अनम्यूट झाला का? म्यूट झाला वाटतं मॅडमचा. Hello, Anand.
Hello, ma'am. Hello. Hello.
Sir, ma'am left झाल्या.
Sir, join. There is some issue. I'll just join in a minute.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
Yeah, in 2 minutes I will join.
Okay, okay, okay. So, dear participants, resource person is taking 2 minutes due to some technical problem again. So, please be with us. And she is rejoining shortly and resume her lecture. Thank you.
PowerPoint.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm there. 1 minute.
Hello.
Yeah, just 1 minute.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. See, a teacher should know where things are. All right. So whenever you are, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
All right. So head protection is very important. Whenever there is a risk of near flying objects or high voltage equipment, then you must wear head gear, and they should also ensure that if you are moving in an area, the premises should take care that a headgear is provided. Now, hand protection. Now, hand protection, when you're handling, see now obviously, many people, like if you go to a clinic or when you are handling anything, you're wearing those latex gloves which are disposable. Suppose you are working in with microorganisms, then also you are wearing these disposable gloves. But if you are going to work with chemicals or that ones which will cause some type of abrasions or cuts, or it is a hot material or it is very cold, like as I mentioned, if you are handling cryogenic, then you require different type of hand protective gloves. So latex gloves you will use when you are doing ordinary work, or they are resistant to ketones, alcohols, caustic soda, organic acids. But if you are going to work with slightly more corrosive material, then you need a different type of gloves. A very simple, suppose you are removing something hot from a microwave oven or from an autoclave, then you need to use such gloves. So you cannot be using a vinyl glove and then trying to take out material. So the type of glove that you are going to use, there should be a proper training given as to what type of glove one should wear depending upon the work that they are doing. I'm very sure that when you're washing your glassware, they are PVA gloves, and these are gloves which have to be worn when people are working with alkalis and acids. So they have to take care that their hand is properly protected. Very important whenever you are working with glassware. Say you're trying to fit two glasses with a rubber tubing. At that time, very often people don't wear any protection, and it may lead to an accident due to which there can be a injury, and this injury can be very detrimental, or this injury can be very deep, or it can result in a deep cut, or there could be a lot of loss of blood. So one has to take care. Then very common thing, you try to put glass tubing into a cork, and at that time also your rubber cork or something like that, you must wear a protective glove. I gave one or two examples because these are the areas people think, oh, it's much easier to do with hands, barren hands, and no gloves are needed. But these glasses are very fragile and they can break. And if they break, they may penetrate your skin, resulting in injury. Now we'll come back to the lab coat, and I'm very sure those of you who have visited an X-ray clinic must have realized he wears an apron, right? So an apron is also worn by a cook. Why? Because anything which comes or like you're working with flame or there is a material which can be spilled, so there's a protective covering. But in the laboratory, wearing a lab coat, which I already displayed to you, a regular lab coat is must. People must wear and respect the lab. There is certain thing like you respect chemicals, you respect the lab, you respect your workplace. And when you do that, you must wear a proper attire. You have to be properly, even your head and all. I'll come to that again a little later. Now, apron, if you're working with corrosive material or you're working with flammable material, then you cannot be wearing this cotton or polycot lab coat. You need better material, an apron which will be resistant so that the personnel will not be injured. Then respiratory protectors. Now, before we go to the respiratory protectors, your regular mask has now become the need of the day. So any work that you do under a laminar airflow, or you're working with microorganisms, or you're working in a tissue culture lab, you must wear this mask. And today you and I are fit and healthy because even though we are moving out, we are all wearing the mask, and they should be worn properly, not like this. It should cover the nose as well as the mouth. And if you are working with more contamination, then you require an N9 mask. But in addition to that, whenever anybody is going to work with things which will create a dust, then you need a dust mask, because there are filters which will not allow the dust to penetrate, and it will ensure respiratory safety. Because there are two things which can happen. One, your nasal mucosa is very, very delicate, but it is richly supplied with capillaries. And if there is any chemical which is hazardous, then immediately it will reach into your circulatory system. So it's very important that your mask is proper. So it will help you to work with, say when you're working with lead, paint fumes, then moderate level of organics, acid fume, mercury. Thermometer breaks, there is a mercury fume, a mercury spill, but there can be fumes thereon. So you have to take care of by wearing a dust mask. Then there are half face respirators, which are second level depending upon the area of work. And full face respirator is for highly, like you need a very air purifying respirator, which again has special filters to ensure that your safety is not compromised. So these are the different type of respiratory protectors which are used. But having said that, in today's time, your savior is your regular mask. Then these are the sign ages. What is noise? So decibel is the way you measure sound. Any sound which is above the acceptable level becomes noise, and exposure to noise for a longer period of time can result in hearing loss, which will become a permanent loss. So people who are working, say you are exposed to people like very high stereo in their cars, right? It's not only the young generation, but even older generation likes loud music in a very small area. But that can result in a hearing loss. So whenever there is an area where there is going to be a prolonged exposure to noise in excess of 85 decibels, then you must wear a proper protection so that there is no loss to hearing. Now this I have shown because sign ages is a very good method of visual management. So wherever possible, see, you cannot have manpower in each and every place, or there could be places where people may not be available to say, oh, don't go here or don't go there. So it's better to have very big signages, and this is known as visual management, which can also prevent many accidents. So you can have hearing protection, which can be in the form of ear plugs. Again, ear plugs should be clean. Otherwise, they can become a source of fungal infection, which again, it can be prevented. And how to use the ear plug? The way you can use is roll, pull, and insert. And wherever not required, you can remove them. So some people are not very comfortable with wearing a very big hearing aid, so they may prefer using a plug, whatever it is, but a simple cotton can also do a great work. And if you feel that you're very sensitive to noise, then you may use cotton plugs. Leg protection. See, it's I don't know how to put this. We cannot tell everyone wear shoes and come, because the way our country is, people may wear slippers, or they wear floaters, or even bathroom slippers, right? Many of our technicians or lab personnel, they all wear this. I will like to narrate one story here. See, I was under a training in Japan, and I saw that is one country is very, very cautious, and they are very careful about how they train their people and the instructions they give. So if you are on a factory visit, Toyota is one very good example, which follows all the requirements of total quality management. But when you go on a factory visit, you can't be wearing a dress which is flaring. So our simple sari, which is our dress, is not allowed, for very simple reason, because your sari is flowing everywhere, and there are chances that it may get stuck in the machinery or when you are moving, and they don't want to take any risk. So they give instruction that your attire should be proper. Second, nobody can enter the factory without proper safety shoes. So they have to be covered. So legs should be properly covered. So in our laboratory, we may not have this type of shoes, but at least ordinary shoes should be there. They cannot be canvas shoes, because canvas shoes are made up of cloth, and they will easily get damaged, they'll get wet, and if there are any chemical spills, then there'll be a hole in the canvas shoe. So there should be a proper shoe. So maybe students can be instructed about it, that whenever they are entering a laboratory, the legs should be properly covered. And if it is a lab which is a clean room, so in clean room, normally you don't allow outside footwear to be taken in. So at that time, a proper footwear is given which also has a cover so that it can be disposed of, and that should be used. Now this shoe which is showing here has a protection inside. So if something falls on that, there'll be no leg injury. And above that also you can have a disposable covering so that if there is a spill, expensive shoes will not be damaged. At the same time, it will not penetrate. So caution, safety shoes required, especially in case of laboratories, in case where there is a chance of having a spill, or whenever you are in a factory, it is compulsory that there should be safety shoes. Then fume hoods. Fume hoods are again important. Type of fume hood will depend upon the type of experiment you are carrying out, and it will also depend upon the work that you are doing. So there are different types of fume hoods, and again how much you are exposing yourself. So your face, your level of your face and the fume hood, the distance, all these are recognized, and the fume hood is designed in such a way that the person who is doing the work is not subjected to any injury. Or it can be a simple one where all the toxic fumes will be sucked out and it will be let, and you can have a simple hood also. And whenever you are working with acids, you must preferably use a fume hood to avoid any accident or to avoid any toxic fumes entering the laboratory. In the category of fume hoods, you also have these biosafety cabinets. And a part of the biosafety cabinet is your laminar airflow hood. Now this laminar airflow hood has a HEPA filter. So this HEPA filter will filter air which is pressurized, and the air which comes out is clean air, or it is free of any microorganism. So look at this. This is a very high level of biosafety. So you can see how he is using a PPE kit. That means he has a disposable gown and then a head cover. See, something like this, which can be disposed of. And then you have those disposable gloves, which are there, and a glass shield. In addition to that, he is also wearing another head shield so that he is properly protected. So there are different levels of biosafety. And if you can see on the laminar airflow, there is a symbol also. So there is a signage to indicate the biosafety cabinet, which can be used only for that particular work. Suppose you are working with mycobacterium, or those who are working with viruses, or those who are working with infectious disease causing microorganisms should take care and should work in this area. Kapse sir, you will tell me when to stop so that I can take few questions and then I can begin with the next session.
Okay, ma'am. After 5 minutes, we will take questions from the participants.
Fine. Because I can see some hands raising.
Yes,
so
yes.
I will finish this one part and then we can take few questions.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Then storage cabinet. See, normally what happens, you have a slotted angle rack and then we put the chemicals. Ideally, how much it should be? It should be eye level. Correct? So at least what I feel, if we have not done that till now, we can at least start thinking and practicing what we are learning from these training. So all chemicals which are stored should be at eye level, and it should be in such a level that the user can easily take it out. Normally, larger bottles or heavier ones should be at the base and smaller ones should be at the top. Again, after some time, I'll be telling how storage should take place and how you should store chemicals. There are certain chemicals which will release fumes. So these cabinets are provided with ventilated storage. That means whatever fumes are there will be sucked out. And as you can see, there is a special cabin wherein only personnel who can remove it will have access. That means each and every person will not be able to remove it. Now, many of the chemicals are being removed from practicals. Like, I don't think anybody uses an azide or they are using any cyanide. Otherwise, anything which is poisonous, it should be kept in a cabinet with 2 keys. So that the way our bank locker, you cannot open the locker just with 1 key. Like, you require a key and then the bank manager also has another key. So it ensures double safety. So if there is somebody who has a key, like a lab attendant, he cannot open it. He has to open it under the supervision of a second person, and this will ensure that no material can be misused. So in case there is a problem, there has to be a supervisor around, and it should be always under 2 keys. So larger chemicals should be on the lower rack, smaller ones above, so that it can be easily removed. And as far as possible, your storage area should be at your eye level. Even your signage should be at eye level so that it is easily visible to each and every individual. Then I'm very sure I've seen it in Mumbai. You might have also seen that rickshaw mein leke jate hain na gas ka cylinder, right? And that can be a very big accident because it is all pressurized. See the way it is. Everything is belted. There is a chain or there is a belt and there is a cap. Because so much pressure is there, if there is an accident, it will be like a rocket. It will go out. And there should be a safety cabinet. There should be no leak. It should be inspected regularly. And there are many institutions which have GC, gas chromatography, and they are using certain gases which have to be taken care, like they are using nitrogen, they are using hydrogen. So all these cannot be left uncared. Your regular LPG or domestic gas should also be kept properly. And whenever it is there, there should be a cap on these cylinders because they are protective cap. So how do you transport it or how do you carry from one place to another? It should be done on a trolley. And these cylinders should also be tied or belted to the trolley. All these pipings should be regularly checked by authorized person. And everything should be chained. In case there is an explosion, it will be at least contained or you can take care of it. So one must take care of these things when they are transporting material from one area to another. So I will put a notice like this: keep all cylinders chained, capped, and upright. Remember, they are the potential for any fire which happens in any premises. Now, as I said, laboratory ventilation. How many people are occupying the lab, whether it is properly ventilated, space for movement between the benches, proper air circulation, exhaust fans, so that whatever fumes are there, they'll be removed and the air within the laboratory will be fresh. Then this has again become a very, very important part. Emergency eye wash and shower. I will give one very funny example why training is required. Look at that eye wash. It looks like a wash basin, right? Yes or no? It looks like a wash basin. So first, when it came in the laboratory, students did not know because they were not trained. So what they did, whatever they had in their test tube, they started coming and pouring in this eye wash sink, and in turn it started corroding, and then there was a big hue and cry. So training is important. It is like when you buy a new fridge or a new television, or you get a new mobile, you are trained to use it. Similarly, any new equipment, even if it is for safety, people should get trained. They should know location, and very important, it should be used. Not necessarily that you have to wait for an accident. So there should be a label, last checked. See, I've checked. So you can keep one date fixed, say 2nd of every month. So 2nd of every month, you push and see that there is proper water supply. Then this chain, if you pull, there'll be a shower of water. And this is a very important component, absolutely essential in any chemistry laboratory. So if there is a spill in the eye or in the body, immediately washing with clean water is the first step which should be taken. So emergency eye wash and shower are required, but they have to be maintained. They should be in working condition. Because very often people feel that, oh, we have bought one eye wash and a shower. It is like a fancy instrument around. We can show, oh, we have eye wash and shower. And if the person who is inspecting the lab says, let me see whether it works, then you don't know that the knob is closed. There is no water supply. And then you will cut a very sorry figure. So please remember that whenever anything is there in the laboratory, it should be in working condition and everyone should know. It is not the job of only lab assistant. It is the job of A till Z. That means head of the department, the teachers who are in charges, the people who are working, students, because you never know. You may be alone. Again, I'll come there. And a problem happens and you don't know. Then you're waiting. Oh, how do I use this? It will not work that. Then glassware, can I stop here? Because glassware, again,
Yes,
sir,
yes,
somebody is using the annotation.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I stop and take some questions?
Yes, ma'am.
I can see the chat box also. Somebody can read the chat box.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm very curious. Somebody has written this very timely because I'm designated as a lab or laboratory in charge in our school. So, madam or sir, it's very nice. Your responsibility increases, but very important, you train. You may not be there all the time, correct? At the same time, you should also not feel that the onus is only on you. Safety is right in the beginning. I said it begins with you. So everyone is responsible. So yeah, I'm ready to take some questions if I know the answer.
Yeah, now I request all the participants. Now this first technical session is open for discussion. So I request everyone to ask your queries to respected
And
Dr.
if I'm
Usha
coming to
Mukundan
the,
ma'am.
sir, and please don't say honorable, respected. We all respect each other.
So if you have any
Yes.
question, ask one by one, please.
It's only that glass with, when safety goggles are required while using laser source in laboratory, it is the, what you can say, how much it will prevent. It is not the power. It is what type of rays it will not allow to penetrate. And that is what is important. Yeah. Anybody? Yeah, Vrinda madam. I think did I answer your question?
Please, anyone? I request all the participants to have an interaction with resource person. Please unmute yourself, your microphone, and then ask a query.
Yeah, any question? Chemical waste are destroyed. I will be coming to that PowerPoint last. Waste management is also a part of the session. I will be telling you about that.
There is a one question in chat box.
Yeah, I am working as a lab assistant in DS High School, Mumbai. All right. Do you have a question, Mr. Rajesh?
Ma'am, there is a one
How to
question.
separate chemicals in rack, acid and bases and other hazardous chemicals. I will be coming to that. There is a method of separating that and how compatible chemicals, how you can separate. I will be coming to that portion again. Yeah. Pardon? I will be telling you how to do that.
There is a one question regarding in chat box,
there is a
ma'am.
standard manual which I've shown you. How you, what type of goggles you should be wearing. Yeah. Okay. Somebody mentioned about dissected animals. Madam, as per UGC norms and as per the regulation, there is no animal dissection now. We cannot be dissecting any animal and we cannot be using any animal unless and until you are certified by the committee which is for protection and safety of laboratory animals. If you are certified under that, then only you are allowed, not otherwise. And they have given guidelines. Yeah, how to dispose microbial cultures. I'm coming to that waste disposal. Waste disposal, I am coming. But nevertheless, I will answer here. Best thing is before disposing any microbial culture. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Somebody has written how to open lid of glass container which is jammed because of sodium hydroxide. Here I will narrate one incident. Sodium hydroxide, if it is jammed, that means you're very important. You must read the expiry date. If the expiry date is over, that chemical has to be discarded in the manner that it should be done. Now, sodium hydroxide, when you prepare in the flask, earthenware flask, the lower end of the flask is quite fragile. And if you keep it in contact with it for a long period of time, it may wear off. Or if you hold it with your neck, the lower portion can come out and upper portion will remain in your hand and it can cause accident. This accident has been narrated to me by Dr. Prabodh Chaube, who said that the entire spill was on person's body and there were serious burn injury. So you should be very, very careful when you are handling. So if you're trying to open a jammed bottle, I don't think it's a very good idea. What contact details, madam, you're asking? Well, I am also still learning, madam. If you encounter a problem, you must contact immediately somebody who is nearby. You can reach me, but all safety manuals should be in place. Yeah. Anybody? I think, sir, you will share my email with them, correct?
Yes, ma'am. I will share with. I will share your email ID through Telegram group. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you can write. Thank you.
Now, madam, we may proceed for the second technical session now.
So I'm coming to the next part, that is glassware safety. Broken pipettes. People think that they have to conserve or they have to save money and they use broken pipettes. You must never do mouth pipetting. I'll show that there are bulbs. In India, like how you drink Coca-Cola or Pepsi with a straw, the pipette becomes like a straw. It's totally no. There should be stroppers. Okay, or there can be bulbs, or I'll show you there are plastic retrievers which can be used. And that is how from school we have to train students not to aspirate anything using mouth. I will give one example. For quite some time, we were also doing mouth pipetting. If it is microbial culture, it can be very hazardous. But any chemical, unknowingly if it is sucked in, it can cause injury. Now, those who are from colleges will realize for estimating dissolved oxygen, you use Winkler's A and B, and it contains 40% QH. Normally, students are told to just by capillary action, you require just 1 ml. But students are over enthusiastic. This girl went and she aspirated it. It went, immediately she threw, but her lips had swollen like anything. We had to call emergency, and it was really like we had a bad time because we were very worried as to what will happen. So in spite of giving them million instructions, whenever you have any chemical which can cause injury, the teacher or the supervisor or lab attendant should be present nearby. So check condition of glassware before and after use. See, we charge them breakage charge. I'm sure Kapse sir, even your college may be doing, right? Students are issued glassware, and then later on they have to return the glassware, and when they return the glassware, they will have to give the breakage, right? So normally what the student will do, they will just come, and when there is a rush, they will hand over the glassware and go and never report it. And lab attendants also may be in a hurry, and they will also put the glassware in the respective area without checking. But this can be very dangerous. So what we can do is tell the students, we are not charging you because you are broken, because a test tube and all may not cost much. They have to be assured that it is for your safety and our safety, because when the attendant is washing it, he will get injured. So it's very important that we check before it is used or before it is handed over to anyone. Anything which is broken should be informed. And for that, the student should have confidence in the teacher. Then only they will inform, because very often they are very scared to tell. So if there is a window which is broken or any glassware which is broken, they will just be silent about it, and they will not bring it to the to any person responsible, saying that okay. And no broken pieces should be handled with bare hands. I showed you their gloves should be worn, and it should be never ever handled with bare hands, because very small pieces can enter and it may lead to a major accident or major injury. Never force glass tubing into rubber stopper. Never place glassware near edge of workplace. When it is in the edge, there are chances it will topple, and when it topples, it will not only break, along with it, whatever chemical is there will be spilled. This is what I wanted to precisely show, that your pipettes, which are used very commonly, regular graduated pipettes, there are bulbs which are available. You have to train them to use them, or if they are not very comfortable, there are these retrievers which are available, which are also compatible with different type of pipettes that can be used. And now with green chemistry coming, all your reagents can be provided with these type of droppers, so that only minimum reagent is removed and you don't waste chemical unnecessarily. So everything should be stoppered or used and not aspirated. Then heating safety. Your glassware, you have to first ensure is heat resistant. If it is not, then you cannot be heating it directly. There is also a safety precaution to be given when you are using a microwave. Anything which has metal, say sometimes you have closing it with a foil, aluminum foil, and if you put it in the microwave, it can result in a major problem. So tongs should be used whenever you are heating. So there should be test tube holders. Students should be taught to use a test tube holder properly, so that it will have a proper grip on the test tube. And no glassware, if it is very hot or very cold, should be kept directly on a table, because it will get cracked. There will be a rapid change in temperature, and you must always wear protective gloves so that there is no injury. Then biosafety, I just wanted to people to be aware. I don't think regular colleges are working with any high level of biosafety, but these are the type of labels. The one which I showed right in the beginning was level 4. Therefore, he was wearing all those type of protective kits. Your regular laminar airflow, which you're using for microorganisms or small type of tissue culture experiments, can be at level 1. Then there should be a chemical safety data sheet. Now this you have to prepare for your own premises. You also have a reference available which tells what type of chemicals, how they are, how they should be used. But for your own institution, depending upon the experiments which are there, depending upon the chemicals which are there, you have to prepare a chemical data sheet. There should be general regulations. Again, people cannot leave the chemicals on the desk and leave, and they must follow whatever guidelines are laid down by any institution.
Hello, ma'am. Hello.
So, hello.
Hi,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
Then, yeah. Can you see or not see?
Yes, yes. Visible, ma'am.
Visible. Can you hear me? Because
Yes,
it shows
yes.
internet unstable. Then you must be also aware.
You are not audible, ma'am. Hello, Anandrao.
हॅलो सर.
Hello. Hello.
हा बोला ना सर.
मला वाटतं डिस्कनेक्ट झालं मॅडम.
Hello.
हा सर.
Sir, madam again disconnect.
हो 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 हो. त्या बोलल्यास तशा एक कनेक्टिव्हिटी फ्लक्च्युएशन्स आर देअर.
Okay, okay.
Yes, ma'am has joined now. Hello, ma'am. Hello. Hello, ma'am. Hello. Yes, ma'am is shortly joining us.
Yeah, good. You can get to see my college also.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes.
In 1 minute. I'll need just 2 minutes again.
Okay, okay.
Okay. कर दिया एक मिनट नीचे जाती है because I've already come till here. So let me know. I don't want to overshoot my time.
And now for 20 more minutes, you may continue, ma'am.
Yeah. Can you see the screen?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Pause here. Yeah. नीचे नीचे उसके आगे Yeah, so I will come back again for the chemical safety. Sodium, I would especially request, and I'm very thankful to our lab personnel. One time you must have heard about the big floods in Mumbai, 2005. The entire ground floor, even though we have chemistry lab in the ground floor, was flooded, and immediately we were worried. I hope that sodium is properly kept. So our lab people were very quick enough. They always store sodium in under kerosene, and they kept it in a higher place so that it will not come in contact with water. Very important, whenever people are working with sodium, they should take care. Because small pieces of sodium, if they just put it in the dustbin, and if there is paper in the dustbin, it will ignite and there will be fire. Second important training is about sulfuric acid. When in the lab, you have to dilute the acid quite often. Simple rule. And you have to put very slowly acid in water, never the other way around. Otherwise, there'll be an exothermic reaction and there will be a very big accident. So sulfuric acid. Now, I would like to inform here one more thing with acid burn incidents. Now, it is recommended that no acid should be kept unsupervised. So Tejab or a hydrochloric or a sulfuric, aqua regia, nothing should be kept unattended, and this is a very, very important precaution to be taken care in any laboratory, because people may misuse it and it can be not an acceptable thing. So people have to be very careful. All chemicals have to be respected. I think now in the curriculum, nowhere we use hydrofluoric acid. So I'm not talking more about it. And preparation of chemicals, people have to be trained how to prepare chemical. And whenever there is acid, there should be another container in which the beaker or whatever, wherever you're mixing should be placed, and then only the chemical should be prepared. so that if there is a spill, it will spill in that extra container. So this secondary container is very important. Whenever you keep acids or whenever you keep chemicals which are corrosive, they should be in the secondary container. How do you transport? You must use a bucket like this. So you have a carrier, chemical carrier, in which you can carry the material from one lab to another or through the corridor. So thereby you will prevent any accident. Now, how do you store the chemicals? Whenever there are students, especially research students, they are quite often in a hurry and they keep all the chemicals in a beaker, conical flask or any container, and there are no labels. The moment anything is not labeled, should be discarded. So one time if you discard, they will realize that they cannot repeat it, or proper instruction should be given. Anything unlabeled will be discarded. Toxic chemicals must be under lock. Sir, I think annotation, you have to tell people not to use it. I think all are educated here, they are not listening.
Yes, yes.
So liquid should be stored in unbreakable or double container packaging, and everything should have a warning sign. There should be a label, and any chemical which has expired should be disposed and not used again. Now somebody was asking, how do you store the chemical? There is a method. Some chemicals react with each other. So you cannot have acid and base sitting near each other, right? So you cannot store them next to each other. So there has to be a method of storing, and this is the method which is given by safety guideline. So you have group A, B, G, L, C, E, F, and G. What do they mean? A means compatible organic bases. B means compatible pyrophoric and water reactive material. Then C is compatible inorganic bases. D is compatible organic acids. E is compatible oxidizers, including peroxides. F is compatible inorganic acids, excluding oxidizers or combustibles. G, not intrinsically reactive or flammable or not combustible. J is poisonous, compressed gas. K is compatible explosive or highly unstable. So these are very, very, what you can say, hardened, or they are kept with great precaution. L is non-reactive, combustible and flammable, including solvent. And X is a separate criteria, incompatible with all storage group. So if you look up, you will get all these categories available. All you're going to do is go and do a little search, and that is how you should store the chemicals in the laboratory. That means you have to group them into A, D, G, L, C, E, F, G, and the remaining which are there, they must be grouped properly. And as I mentioned, anything which is poisonous should be in lock and key. Then next I come to electrical safety, because when you say about laboratory safety, people think only about chemicals, but each and every laboratory has electrical equipments, electrical power points. All this has to be taken care of. There should be proper earthing, proper insulation. You should never touch or not put your finger in that plug hole, or you must not walk with bare foot. And whenever there is a problem, there should be an electrician who is available on call. Preventive steps, what are they? Proper insulation, proper earthing, avoid extension cords as far as possible. Then there should be circuit breakers. In case there is a problem, immediately it will shut down. If there is a spark or there is a smoke, it should be reported immediately. And very important, most of the fire arises from electricity. It is usually the air conditioner from where you get the fire being there, and it can burn the entire unit, resulting in great damage. So electrical safety is very important. Now, many of you were interested in knowing how do you manage the waste, both chemical and microbial. And now if you're working with molecular biology, you're using ethidium bromide. Never handle ethidium bromide with bare hands. It's a very strong mutagenic agent, and it should be disposed as a hazardous chemical. So there should be a separate container in which it should be disposed. And anything containing your gel, if it contains ethidium bromide, then also it should be disposed as hazardous chemical. Now, first thing, you have to classify your waste. First thing, you have to identify your waste, what it is, whether it's a chemical bottle or your disposable gloves, cultures, etc. Then you classify them, whether it is hazardous, non-hazardous, contaminated. See, your fungal cultures, they can be quite hazardous, so you have to dispose them properly. Then you have to store them till somebody comes and collects it, or you have a method in place to dispose it. And there should be a proper protocol for disposing waste. But very important is, why generate so much of waste? So you must develop methods to minimize waste. So if you are doing electrophoresis, then use small units so that hardly you need any gel. Similarly, you can nowadays use do most of the reactions in micro quantities. You can use a cavity slide, so you require minimum amount of chemical. So while ordering the chemical, it is very important that you do a very good checklist and find out how much you already have in stock and whether you really need it or not. Use before shelf life expires. There's an expiry date. And develop protocols to replace all hazardous chemicals with non-hazardous chemicals. So you have, you can replace them. So you develop green chemistry protocols so that you minimize waste. Thereby, your problem will also be minimized. Now, suppose there is an accident. There's a spill on hand, eye, which may happen. If it is a minor spill, then immediately you must wash, as I said, with clean water. Call the doctor for medical assistance. Immediately inform your co-workers and lab in charge. If you hear a fire alarm, you must evacuate the building. Never take the lift, use the staircase. So there should be directions to show the evacuation pathway, and any gas leak should be reported immediately. Remember, if there is an accident, you must report, because that is a big lesson so that future accidents will not take place. Then I come to a very important point, fire extinguishers. See, fire extinguishers are there in every college, every institution, but they don't know how to use it. So when there is a fire, they start looking for people who know how to use this fire extinguisher. So there should be regular training for using the fire extinguisher. So there should be a fire drill. There should be a fire extinguishing training. And every 3 months, there should be a person who will come and inspect whether the extinguisher is in workable condition or it is of no use. That means you will just have a fire extinguisher, but it is not working because you have never used it. But it is there as a showpiece. Another thing in the laboratory, if the clothes catch fire, then we are taught, kambal, you must put a blanket. Blanket is not a very good idea because it will contain heat. Best thing is to roll the person on the floor so that the fire is extinguished. So when you are working in laboratory, your dress should also have a dress code. So if you are having synthetic material, it will immediately catch fire. So dupattas, sprawling dupattas, long hair should be tied. If it is open, it should be knotted up so that it will not catch fire. Here I will tell one incident when I was studying that we were working, and as usual with burners, my friend's hair got into flame, and she didn't realize till this entire area was burned, and then we could smell a very bad smell because of keratin. And we said, oh my God, your hair is burning. And then immediately precaution was taken. But that was a very big lesson that when you are working, your hair should be nicely pulled away so that you don't have any such accidents. So the class of fire extinguishers are of different type, and usually normally we keep that ABC type, which is the major extinguisher to be used in any of our laboratories. Now this is again I've taken from the website. It says pass. Pass means how to use the fire extinguisher. Pull the pen, aim at that fire, squeeze, and then sweep the nozzle so that the fire will be extinguished. These are some of the safety symbols depending upon where you are working. So animal safety, disposable, biological hazard, radioactive, I think you might have seen. I did not mention more about radioactivity or the shop floor because we are not working much in that area. Thermal safety, open flame, then fume, eye safety, poison. Then these are the symbols which should be put up to alert people to be careful. Then first aid. Then first aid box. It is there, but it is locked. So no one can use. But if it is open, everything disappears. So in first aid box, please don't keep medicines because people should not eat medicines without any supervision. So even if it is Brufen or a Crocin or anything, should be under supervisor. There should be a note or an emergency book which will tell who has these things in place. There could be an oxygen maker or a small oxygen cylinder in case that people have problem with breathing, that they can be given first aid. So people have to be trained. But there are some basic requirements which are there. There should be absorbent gauges, bandages, scissor, tweezer, soap. They say antiseptic soap, but I think any soap will also do. Pad, surgical dressing, and antiseptic, some cream. But if there is a burn, please be careful. You cannot attend to burn injury by putting some ointment. It may create more problems. So for burn injuries, immediately there should be an alert. There should be a doctor on call, or you can take that person. There should be an ambulance or something which can transport that person so that medical attention can be given immediately. Very important, first aid kits must be available to all users. So they must be able to, so each and every floor or laboratory can be equipped with this first aid kit. Now, very, very important, do not. See, a NAC team went to a college and they opened the oven. There was food in the oven. And that really put the team off because they felt that this oven is supposed to be used for chemical. It is not because they were not liking. They were not liking the idea that this can be a safety hazard. So any laboratory, whether it's an oven, incubator, microwave, refrigerator in which you are storing or using it for melting agar or preparing a chemical, you must never ever heat your food. You can, what you can say, request your college management or school management or your principal to provide you with a separate fridge, which will be labeled fridge only for food, no chemicals to be stored, fridge only for keeping eatables so that it is safe, microwave only for heating food. And people should clean the microwave after they have heated the food, because that can become a very big source of contamination. Then do not eat in the laboratory. Eating in the laboratory can be very hazardous, so no one should sit and eat in the laboratory, even though you have a comfort zone there. Then laboratory glasswares are available, and people conveniently start using those glassware to take their food and use it. They said, no, we have cleaned it nicely. No, you cannot be using lab glassware for keeping eatables or eating your food. And always wash hands with soap and water after every lab work. Now, anyway, hand washing has become the biggest mantra, which has resulted in your and my safety. And whenever you are in the lab, you must wear your PPE. That means lab coat, apron, headgear, whatever is accepted, but never move around. Don't go to the lunch room with your lab coat, or don't go to the cafeteria with the lab coat, because lab coat is also a source of contamination. And another one accident I will tell you, that when you are working with microorganisms and you are wearing lab coat, you are holding cotton in one hand and the glassware in another, and you are working near the flame. Unknowingly, the cotton caught fire. And this student coolly put that burnt cotton in the lab coat pocket, which in turn got fire. And thank God, because the lab coat was there, immediately the lab coat could be discarded and a major accident was averted. So we have to be very careful when we are working. And mobile has become the new mantra. We feel that mobile we cannot survive. Mobile is a medium of convenience. It is a very good method of communication, but you should never use the mobile while working in the laboratory. It can be a very big source of contamination, especially for those who are working with microorganisms. Your mobile can be a source of contamination from one person to another. Then very important, avoid working alone in the laboratory. If you are going to work alone in the laboratory, there should be an intercom or lab phone available so that people are aware. There should be some type of alarm which is available in case there is a problem. And as far as possible, at least 2 people should be there working in the laboratory. This is more so when there are research students and they work late in the evening or they work after their schedule. And at that time, as far as possible, please do not work alone in the laboratory. Now, emergency contact numbers. Everyone knows we have to call the police, we have to call the ambulance, we have to call the fire brigade, but nobody knows the number because that number is in the principal's office. No, every laboratory should have this prominently displayed. You must have a phone number of lab in charge, head of the department, institutional head, doctor, ambulance, fire brigade, hospital emergency service. So when you have, depending upon the type of emergency, you know whom to contact and what to do. So that is very, very important. And never ever try to hide any accident. Now, ending the session by acknowledging all the authors who have written excellent manuals on safety management in workplace, safety management in laboratories, safety management in institutions, safety management at home, safety for your children. So all these has been retrieved from the websites. The images have also been taken. Some of the incidences I've shared with you are from my personal experience and my students who have motivated me to be a lifelong learner. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the organizers of this very prestigious college situated in Chikaldara, which we very much would like to visit, and the team of IQAC, Dr. Kapse, for extending an invitation to me, and so that I can share with all of you as to what you and I can do because safety is priceless. So safety first, work safely is the mantra that I'm going to leave you all with, and wishing you all a very happy new year, a very safe, healthy, prosperous new year. So thank you very much for this opportunity, and thanks to your team once again for helping me out with the technicalities. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you very much, madam. Now, this technical session 2 is open for discussion. Now I request the participants to have an interaction with Honorable Dr. Usha Mukundan.
Please don't say honorable.
Okay, sorry ma'am.
Honorable बोला ना तो बहुत responsibility बढ़ गई.
Okay, ma'am. So please.
Yeah. She is asking me how do I dispose microbial, Suchitra Naidu. She has asked how do I dispose microbial cultures in the lab. Very important, you cannot dispose them as such, you have to autoclave. If you are working with microbes which are safety hazard or they are infectious, then I would expect that you use disposable Petri plates so that everything will be killed and then it can be packed as a hazardous waste. So microbial cultures should not be thrown, like you just remove the agar and throw it out. You should not do that. You must autoclave so that everything is killed. The best method is steam sterilization. That is what I believe. Yeah, how about agar disposal? The moment you, and I don't dispose it in the sink. I said you make a separate bag, and then if you have somebody coming and taking it off. Histopathology labs such as xylene, alcohol, they can be all kept in a bottle which is labeled. And if you have somebody who is coming and taking it, again, while disposing, you have to take care that you don't mix two reactive chemicals. Otherwise, you'll have another problem there. Also want to get the way to dispose the chemicals and trade. See, many of our common laboratory college practicals, you can safely dispose. That is one method is wash them down. So that's okay. But unless and until there is something which is very toxic, then you have to take care. And as I said, the time has come that we also develop protocols that we get rid of these hazardous chemicals. I think H2S already in degree college. You can tell them the concept. Oh, hi, how nice. Thank you. Yeah. What she's saying. Zoology department. Do you have, Sarika, anything to ask? Especially ethidium bromide, when you're telling students, never allow them to work with barren hands. They must wear gloves. They can't be handling ethidium bromide just like that. Okay, somebody has asked like any precaution at school level. I think whatever you teach in the school percolates, or rather it comes up in the college. So school has to do the beginning. They must teach, even if you're not handling any chemical or you're handling any microorganism, please, please, please teach them the correct method. Anything else? I have tried to cover most of the things because these are the common problems that we encounter. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Sir, good afternoon. I'm Dr. Suchitra from Hyderabad. Sir, this is regarding the leftover chemicals, as ma'am has rightly mentioned, after the date. After the date, the leftover chemicals which are there, how do we dispose them, those bottles?
There is, see, it will be classified under hazardous. Usko dustbin, you don't put it in the dustbin.
Okay.
Because there are rag pickers. See, when I said broken glasses, poor thing. The scavengers are the one who get affected. They get these needles, and there are methods, there are protocols in place. How to dispose pieces, how to dispose. We are using those blades, right? One-time use. Simple tissue culture laboratory, when you're using a scalpel, you are using those disposable blades. You have to cut them and then dispose it as sharp so that nobody is injured.
Hello.
So right now, what are we doing, ma'am? I'm just digging a pit-like thing and trying to dispose of all these bottles there and then covering it off with mud. This is one which we are following right now, but I somehow feel it's unsafe.
Well, which one?
Ma'am, these leftover bottles which are there after
No,
these
leftover
amber
bottles.
bottles.
There are people who come and take these bottles. They are recycled. Some of them. Glass,
Okay, there's some
especially glass.
scientific company, ma'am, or the normal recyclers, or we have any
There are
scientific...
companies who come and take it.
Okay.
Hello.
Can you suggest anything?
Yes,
Hello.
some same problem is there in our lab as leftover chemicals are there in the lab. So I think when you take the stock, see.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Please wait. Sir, please
All
wait.
the chemicals, you order it again. So please don't do that.
Okay.
Try to use it.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, please, sir. Please continue.
Sir, myself is Professor P.R. Sonone from Jalgaon District, Pachora. Sir, whatever, madam, whatever the drainage we wash the chemicals in the that is basin, and most of the chemicals liquid form, that will be drainage out of the laboratory. Sir, madam, how to dispose it? Because if we have to leave it in by the canal in the duct, what the objection is taken, it cause the say water pollution, soil pollution, and so on. Because the PR team take an objection on it, because we had make a drainage and we have stored it, and then after all, what happened?
You can do pre-treatment, and then.
Okay. Pre-treatment, that means by adding.
But even now, our laboratory experiment, still the safest way is through water.
Yeah, we throw water, but where to store? That means you have to store it in a tank.
No. See, unless and until you are using hazardous, you cannot store. If it's a common chemical, every day you're doing acid-based titration.
Yeah.
You cannot be storing
acid.
them. It's not even practical. And
okay, so how to dispose it?
Now we are thinking about the safety and how to dispose. It's good. At least now we are thinking about it. Right.
How to means you have to neutralize it first.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you drain. That is the only way.
Only way to drain means we can't store it in a and then you have to
store and give it to whom? He is also going and disposing it somewhere, right?
Yeah.
But for companies, there are laid rules as to how they will dispose.
Yeah, madam.
Many rules for which they will have to then see.
NAC PR team ask us how to dispose the water. What
Sir,
is
we
the
are not
provision?
doing anything for NAC PR team. Let us know. We are doing for the safety of you and our children.
No, madam.
We are also
madam.
talking about
one
safety.
of the most requirement.
Safety is very important. Let us not think कि NAC ने ऐसा बोला कि वैसा बोला. We have to think what is very important for the safety of our children. And for our
madam. I agreed.
But then that is the only way you neutralize it and the only method. But I don't know your canal whether it is connected to drinking water. Huh? I have no idea.
Yeah. That is the problem.
Suppose it is going into drinking water, then it may not be acceptable.
Not acceptable. Right. We have to
definitely not, because again we are going to drink that.
Yeah, it will percolate automatically. It will percolate in the soil and somewhere in the river, nearby the rivers, and so on. That is the problem, and it caused the corrosion to the pipeline which is nearby in that area. That is a problem, madam. Yes, I agree. But that is a way. That means you have to store. That means you have to neutralize it, and then
Sir,
you have to.
That can also that's why I said develop protocols which will minimize the chemical, replace regular, and what conventionally it was done, students should know. We can tell them. You can show virtual thing and tell them.
Yeah, madam. We always tell them to use the minimum micro. That means micro analysis is there nowadays. Yeah. Micro analysis, because I had worked in a GN Khalsa College, Matunga, few years. Okay. Yes, madam. Few years I was there. And I got I had attended the seminar in your college, madam, in our college, on microanalysis.
Okay.
Yeah, I had attended. So that is most applicable over here. But what happened in rural areas, in villages?
Sir, you are doing better in rural area than what people are doing in city. because
Yeah.
for you, everyone has both sides of the coin. You have space,
Yeah.
you have less. So rural, I think, are going ahead of urban.
Yeah, madam. But the students are not so alert regarding for that. They are use and throw. They are doing because the in rural areas know very well about it,
You
madam.
give them little, then they will not use more.
Okay, madam. Thank you very much for getting the information.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
And now I request all the participants that if you have any query, you may send email to.
Then I will
Dr.
learn more. If you have questions, I will learn from
And
the
I will
questions.
definitely share her email ID through our Telegram group, or I will personally send. I have already shared my telephone number or mobile number through Telegram group. And if you have any query regarding or in contacting ma'am, you may please contact me. Now I think we have covered all the questions from the participants. Now, firstly, I am really thankful to ma'am for very nice and nice presentation and elaborately explaining each and every aspect regarding the laboratory safety management. Now, I would like to invite my colleague and friend, Dr. V.S. Meghe sir, again for a vote of thanks.
Namaste, madam.
Namaste.
In both the session of the best practices in laboratory safety management, madam covered lots of points. Just I am not actually summarizing, but some highlighting some points, just like the need of safety training, types of safety, electrical, mechanical, chemical, fire, radiation, as well as the personal protective equipment. It may be NRPP or RPP. Then storage of the chemicals, fumes hoods, gas safety, handling of the lab chemicals. So several points have covered by the madam. It's my great pleasure to express my sincere thanks to Dr. Usha Mukundan madam for his the valuable, quality-packed, and very effective presentation. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. And
Thank
lastly,
you very much.
And lastly, I am thankful to the people who have contributed and participated in this today's event. Thank you very much. Kapse, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
I'll leave the meeting.
Yeah, ma'am. And with the permission of
yeah, thank you.
College,
All of you take care.
Thank you all. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Sir, feedback link, sir.
I am sharing the feedback.